to start loose leash walking. And believe it or not, we're starting inside the house in the least distracting environment, because this is a skill I want the dog to learn, and doing it outside is just like adding a bunch of distractions. So I want the dog to actually learn the skill, and in order to learn it, it is best to do it in the least distracting environment, which will be the home. And so I'm going to show you how to do that, but it's important that you have food and your dog knows a marker word. I want to teach Cooper what to do when he feels that pressure on his neck because the leash has now gotten tight or because he has gotten to the end of the leash. I want to teach him that he has to stop on his own, that he shouldn't do it based off of a word or a command I've given, or even based off of just my body language. I want him to do it the moment he starts to feel that pressure. I want him to choose to either stop, slow down, come back to me, whatever that may be. So you're gonna see that when we are walking, if at any point he starts to get ahead of me, I'm going to stop, become a tree, and I'm gonna wait for him to loosen the pressure on this leash. It's not gonna be me. I'm not gonna give him an extra 2 feet by extending my arm. I'm not gonna walk faster. I'm just going to stop and maintain the pressure that's on the leash. I'm not going to loosen it for him, and I'm not going to pull harder to tell him to come to me. I want him to figure those things out, and then he gets rewarded for it. So the first few times, he's gonna have no idea why I'm rewarding him. But after many repetitions, it will start to click. And then over time, once he feels that pressure, he will just start to turn on his own, come back to me, slow down, whatever. Sometimes there's many different responses the dogs can do. So again, it's not about teaching them a command. It's not just about stopping, because that teaches the dogs this pattern that when the human stops, I stop. That's not what it is. It's really about teaching them how to respond to that pressure they feel on their neck, so that when you're walking them and that happens, they know how to respond instead of pulling harder. So you're just gonna kind of see me work through that here. Now, I haven't actually taught this to him yet. However, he has been on the leash in the house with me, and we have walked together. I always do that with new dogs in my home. So he does have a small foundation, but we haven't actually done this practice yet. Stop. Yes, because he turned around on his own. He barely felt any pressure. I marked and rewarded that. And that's okay, because we're in the house and he's not really excited or overstimulated and staring at things. So this is where it starts. Let's go. Yes, good. And it is likely that we won't ever get to a point where he's just pulling ahead of me. Yes, I can go ahead and mark and reward him just for following me. He's making those decisions though. I'm not telling him to do that. Yes, good boy. See how nicely he's walking with me? He was not always like this. Yes, this comes with a lot of repetition and practice in a calm environment first. Yes. 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 Now the constant rewarding of him just walking nicely is building a lot of value of just hanging out with me. Yes. Yes. You can become a valuable provider, resource provider, even on a walk. Yes. Good boy. Let's go. Yes. Good job, buddy. So don't underestimate the value of practicing indoors first before you head outdoors. Remember, the skill is not typically what's difficult for the dog to learn. It's their state of mind. And if you're just starting this out in an environment where it's just too crazy for them, they can't learn anything. They might try, they might go through the motions, but nothing's going to be retained. Yes, good boy. can do to try. I'm gonna hold that pressure. I just threw some food so that he would try to go ahead. Holding that, yes, and because he simply turned his head, I'm gonna wait again. He's still figuring it out. Yes, that's it. He's the one that loosened the pressure. I didn't loosen it, I just kept it. We're gonna do that again so that I can actively show you how that would work. I'm giving him something to motivate him to wanna go ahead. I'm gonna hold the pressure here. I'm not gonna loosen it. He backed up, yes, I'm gonna reward that. I'm gonna hold the pressure. He's not even applying it, yes. Which means he's learning quickly that me throwing food on the ground doesn't equal anything. And maintain the pressure, yes. Very good, buddy. I'm gonna maintain the pressure, wait for him to loosen it, yes. And notice how I don't mark because he's coming to me. I mark the moment he just even turns his head because that's loosening the pressure on the leash. I am not asking him to come back to me. I'm asking him to figure out how to loosen the pressure of the leash or loosen the tension. He has to figure that out, not me loosen it for him. So let's watch that again. I'll do it from this angle. I'm gonna hold the tension. Yes, good boy. And then again, we'll do it from this angle. I'm gonna hold the tension. Yes, even in just a simple head turn. Good boy.